Hi students, the purpose of this video is to make you understand how many questions you can answer the questions from the basic books in 2021 UPSC prelims examination. Most of the students read these books: Ancient India R.S. Sharma, Medieval India Satish Chandra and Modern India Bipin Chandra. So these three books are very essential. Most of the students read about this. And these are new NCERTs. You can download freely also from NCERT website. Here I have given only two books from 12th standard. You have to read from 6th standard onwards. Similar kind of PDFs are in the book format also, it is available. And this book most of the students read about art and culture. So here generally for history, the basic sources for history are NCERT. These are called old NCERTs. These are called new NCERTs. And this is one book related to art and culture. I have not here even taken the spectrum also. UPSC has asked 20 questions. In these 20 questions, 10 questions we cannot answer from the basic books. So these are the questions which we cannot even touch if we read only these books. And we will come to these questions later, how to deal about these questions. But let us focus on the other 10 questions. Can we really answer the other 10 questions from the NCERT or not? This is the first question. These words are not even mentioned anywhere in our basic books, so we cannot answer this question. It is one of the most difficult questions in our history questions this year. Now, when it comes to second question, this is about Montague-Chelmsford Reforms 1919 Act and 1935 Act. If we consider only history basic books, this question becomes difficult. But most of the student with respect to polity, Lakshmikant book is read. So those who read carefully about Lakshmikant, about these acts, they can answer this. Even for the students who read other history books, for example, history optional students will read a book called Grover. Grover book will give this line like, worst of all, this electorate, but also women in Punjab, Sikh women in Punjab, general category women, Mohammedan women were also given the communal representation. So there is a specific paragraph in Grover. Except those who read this book, and this becomes also a difficult question, because first option can be eliminated because it is given in the Lakshmikant book to a limited number of people on the basis of property, tax or education is given. So it granted franchisee to limited number of people. This is the line from Lakshmikant. From this book, this option will be eliminated. But whereas the government of India gave women reserved seats in the legislature, this part becomes difficult because this much clarity is not given in Lakshmikant also. So that's why I categorized this as also a difficult one. But those who interpreted Lakshmikant book easily and those who read Grover, particularly history optional students, they would have answered this very correctly. When it comes to third question, with reference to 8th August 1942, this is one of the easiest questions in this year. Most of the students would have made the right answer. The source, Modern India Bipin Chandra itself says, the All India Congress Committee met at Bombay on 8th August 1942. It passed the famous Quit India resolution. So Bipin Chandra itself is giving this line. Most of the students make this right answer. So this is the one question which you can directly answer from this basic book. Which among the following is associated with songs from prison? This is once again very difficult question because in our basic book it is not there. Next, fifth question. With reference to medieval India, which one of the following is the correct sequence in ascending order in terms of size? Now, this becomes difficult question for those who do not read medieval India. Those who read medieval India, it is a very easy question. The basic book New NCERT itself, this is a even from NCERT website also you can download PDF freely, but hard copies are normally available in every bookshop. Here it is saying the division of functions established at the center was replicated in the provinces. So provinces means shubhas. The sarkars into which each shubha was divided. So sarkars. And similarly, the local administration was looked after at the level of Pargana, sub-district. So sarkar means district, Pargana is sub-district and province is shubha. So this you can easily answer if we read this book. It is New NCERT, so basic book. But those most of the students leave medieval part. So for those who leave the medieval part, this question also becomes very difficult one. The next question, who among the following was associated as secretary with the Hindu female school, which later came to be known as Betune Female School? Once again, those who read the basic book very carefully, within Bipin Chandra only you will get the answer. But most of the students overlook the statement, and this question also sometimes become difficult for some students. Let us see how we can answer from modern India Bipin Chandra. In 1850, Vidyasagar protested against child marriage. Then he was also deeply interested in education of women. Vidyasagar. As a government inspector of schools, he organized 35 girls' schools, many of which he ran at his own expense. So far, okay. Now, the answer comes for this question from here. As a secretary to the Betune school, here it is saying, as a secretary with the Hindu female school. The statement said, as a secretary to Betune school. That's why the statement also saying that which later came to be known as Betune female school. So that means if you interpret a secretary of Betune school, as a secretary to the Betune school, he was one of the pioneers of higher education for women. So if you focus this particular statement, this question becomes very easy. Once again, those who get confused whether Debendranath Tagore or Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, this question becomes difficult, but mostly would have taken the guess Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar as the right option. So this question also can be answered from Bipin Chandra. Now two questions directly from Bipin Chandra. Now next question. In the context of colonial India, Shah Nawaz Khan, Prem Kumar Sehgal and Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon as remembered. Okay, they are remembered as. This is the direct question. Most of the students would have answered this correctly. Modern India Bipin Chandra once again. Here itself the Red Fort. The government decided to put on trial in the Red Fort at Delhi. The three people are directly given in sequence. So this is three people. These are the three people. They were put to trial in Red Fort for their participation in INA, so Indian National Army. So they are officers of Indian National Army. The terms also can be seen here. They were officers in the British Indian Army. So they were the officers of the INA. The statement itself is saying officers of INA. So most of the students would have answered this right. So this question also can be answered from basic book. Now 8th, with reference to Indian history, which of the following statements is correct? Here this question becomes difficult unless we read. Again, the answer can be derived from the first chapter itself. It is there in Bipin Chandra, Modern India, Old NCERT. In the first chapter itself, you will get the answer. But most of the students will feel difficulty because three statements are there. And understanding Nijamat, what is this Nijamat? The term complicates the analysis. Rohilkhand kingdom, once again, this is generally not normally discussed area of modern India. So these two terms make this question difficult, but still you can answer the question from Bipin Chandra only. Here you will see Mysore kingdom emerged out of Vijayanagara. Most of the students would have taken this statement as a right one. But if students know this, again we have problem with three options. Now we will see the statements within Bipin Chandra. The Carnatic was one of the Subhas of Mughal Deccan and as such came under the Nizam of Hyderabad's authority. So this is the statement from Bipin Chandra. Came under Nizam of Hyderabad's authority. But just as in practice the Nizam had become independent of Delhi, so also the deputy governor of the Carnatic, known as the Nawab of Carnatic, had freed himself of the control of the Viceroy of the Deccan. So this statement will give us information that Arcot, Carnatic, and here we should know Arcot also. Like Carnatic, most of the students know Carnatic region because of the French and Anglo-French wars. We should know that Carnatic has a capital called Arcot. This word is important. And the Nijamat. Nijamat means general administration. Once again, the description for Nijamat also come from within the book, within the same book. Here you can see the here you can see the company thus gained supreme control over the administration or Nijamat. This is a separate chapter. This is a separate chapter where in the dual government, the government policies of British, this chapter is different. So this chapter is giving the information about Nijamat. Nijamat means overall administration. Arcot means this is the capital of Carnatic. This comes from the first chapter itself. Emerged out of Hyderabad state. So here this statement also can be answered from Bipin Chandra only, provided we read the statements of Bipin Chandra very carefully. Now 1 and 2. Otherwise also, now we will see about third statement. Rohilkhand kingdom was formed out of the territories occupied by Ahmad Shah Durrani. This is the statement. With plain reading also this question can be answered if we read the first chapter. Most of the students feel difficulty in reading the first chapter of Bipin Chandra. This is the statement from the first chapter only. Next to Hyderabad, the most important power that emerged in South India was Mysore under Hyder Ali. This is about the kingdom of Mysore had preserved its precarious independence ever since the end of Vijayanagara Empire. This statement is giving that during Vijayanagara Empire it was part of it, and after Vijayanagara Empire Mysore became independent. So this statement is giving that Mysore emerged out of Vijayanagara Empire. Now what about Rohilkhand? Here you can see the Muhammad Khan Bangash, an Afghan adventurer, established his control over the territory around Farrukhabad between what now Aligarh and Kanpur during the reigns of Farrukh Siyar and Muhammad Shah. Similarly, during the breakdown of administration following Nadir Shah's invasion, Ali Muhammad Khan carved out a separate principality known as Rohilkhand. So this is continuity. Decline of Mughal Empire is the chapter in Bipin Chandra. All these three statements are there in the very first chapter itself. Emerged out of the Mughal principality. So here it is saying that after Nadir Shah invasion, that means this is 1739. Ahmad Shah Durrani, the third battle of Panipat took place in 1761. So if we have this understanding from this paragraph, the third statement becomes wrong. So we can answer. So those who read this particular chapter carefully is a easy answer. Those who do not read properly, this question also becomes very difficult part. Only out of guess only, most of the students take second part as the right one. But again, three options are there. Again, once again, we have to choose either 1 is right or 3 is right. Next one, 9th question. Which one of the following statement is correct? This question is also not mentioned in the basic books. Generally, some students Google for Ajanta caves. Those who read in the Google Wikipedia page, they would have got to know about this particular river. Otherwise, in the basic books, this particular river and Ajanta caves combination is not available. So those who read that Wikipedia page becomes easy. Those who do not read becomes difficult question. This question is related to current affairs. Most of the students would have felt difficulty. Now 11th question. With reference to Chausat Yogini temple situated near Morena, consider the following statement. This question, those who read this book, we have to deduce it. But here once again guesswork helps. Directly it cannot be answered. But at least those who read this book can take intelligent guess. Let us see what is the content given in this book about this particular temple. There are many temples at Khajuraho, most of them devoted to Hindu gods. So Hinduism, there are some Jain temples. So there are temples related to Jainism as well as a Chausant Yogi temple. So the term is given in this book. Now this is about Chausat Yogini temple. Near Khajuraho, here you should know, students should know that Morena is near Khajuraho. So here two words will give difficulty for students. Morena, where it is located, in which state it is located. Those who do not know, Morena is in Madhya Pradesh and it is near to Khajuraho, it becomes difficult. But those who read this book, they can get at least the term Chausant Yogini temple. So the temple is given. It is saying predating the 10th century. This is a temple of small square shrines of roughly hewn granite, each dedicated to devis or goddesses associated with the rise of tantric worship after the 7th century. So this tantric worship is different from Vaishnavism. So we have to deduce this. If we know this paragraph and if we know that if we read Chausant Yogini temple is not related to Vaishnava cult, then this goes wrong. It was meant to promote the Vaishnava cult. This goes wrong. Then if we take out 3 as wrong, then 1 and 2 and 1 and 4 will be the. Then even if we do not know that this is not a circular, whether it is inspired from or which dynasty it was built, now 50% chances increase now. Now in this 50% chance also, one already there, that means 1 is always right. So this also can be taken as right. Now only problem comes to 2 and 4. So 2 and 4. So this is purely related to guesswork only, because the second statement is saying it is the only circular temple built in India. Most of the time, if UPSC gives only these extreme statements, most of the time I am saying, it is not always, because 1 year this kind of tactic was adopted in the exam, but some questions have gone wrong. So that's why I am not saying always, most of the time, because anyway we have to take the guess. 50% chances are there, we have to take the guess. It is the only circular, that means most of the time such statements go wrong. So if we take 2 as wrong, 1 and 4, so we can arrive the answer. But at least the only clue here is Chausant Yogini temple that is mentioned in this book. So from the basic books, so such kind of questions, the information from basic books will help us to take the guess. So at least for this question also, we have heard about this particular term. Now next question, 12th. Which one of the following ancient towns is well known for its elaborate system of water harvesting management by building a series of dams? This you can read in the Harappan, in the new NCERT itself. There is even one picture also saying that reservoir at Dholavira. So it itself is showing the importance of water management near Dholavira. And there is a paragraph in the book, canals silted up long ago. It is also likely that water drawn from wells was used for irrigation, besides water reservoirs found in Dholavira, Gujarat, may have been used to store water for agriculture. So those who study ancient India, once again, most of the students do not feel comfortable in reading ancient history and medieval history, straight away go to modern India. And modern India also, the books Bipin Chandra, most of the students will not read carefully. They give one or two readings just for the sake of reading, and they depend on Spectrum. No doubt Spectrum is a very good book, but those who read NCERTs also very carefully, they can answer many questions. Here new NCERTs and old NCERTs. So this is the book itself is giving the image also, Dholavira. So this question, those who read Harappan, become very easy question. UPSC will give such chances very rarely. Just by giving one reading also, we can answer such kind of questions. There is no deduction also, there is no difficulty like previous this question, 11th question. Those who just read Dholavira as part of Harappan, known for its water management, they can directly answer this question. UPSC will give such opportunities in very few questions, but it is a self goal. Those who miss this particular chapter. Now 13th question. In the first quarter of the 17th century, in which of the following was or were the factory or factories of the English East India Company located? This is very difficult question, because in the basic books we will not find these terms at all. Because in the Bipin Chandra also we will not find the factories also. So those who, this becomes very difficult even to take guess also. Now 14th. From the decline of Guptas until the rise of Harshavardhana in the early 7th century, which of the following kingdoms were holding power in northern India? Once again, this can be answered from new NCERT basic book. This is part of medieval India. This is the 7th standard. Previous question, Dholavira was the 6th standard. Now this one is the 7th standard. Also in the second chapter itself, in the 7th standard new NCERT, new kings and kingdoms. This is giving information. Many new dynasties emerged after the 7th century. After 7th century means this is after Harshavardhana. So if we know this, then if we see this map, then we can answer this question very easily. So those who read this book, it is one of the easiest questions to be answered. And let us take, even while guessing also we can answer this question. Let us see how. The Guptas of Magadha, Paramaras of Malwa, Pushyabhutis of Taneshwar, Maukharis of Kanauj, Yadavas of Devagiri, the Maitrakas of Vallabhi. Here most of the students know the Guptas and they would have heard about Yadavas and Devagiri. Kanauj also they hear, but in the context of Harshavardhana they would have heard Kanauj, but not in the context of Maukharis. So remaining all these becomes difficult, those who do not read medieval part, early medieval part. Only here known parts are Guptas of Magadha, Yadavas of Devagiri. But here it is saying from the decline of Guptas. Once again, from the decline of Guptas means it should start after Guptas. But the question is saying the Guptas of Magadha. Once again they are giving Guptas. So here they mean later Guptas. These Guptas were imperial Guptas like Chandragupta, Samudragupta. So those were called imperial Guptas. They built large empires. After the decline of Guptas, a new branch of Guptas came, but there is no relation between imperial Guptas and later Guptas. That's why later Guptas of Magadha are also one of the political power in Magadha region. Now here, now this also will give confusion for students. Only solution is about this particular. Most of the students know Yadavas and Devagiri. But now problem comes whether which time period they belong to. Those who have little bit idea of medieval India, like Alauddin Khilji, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, these two names most of the students know, Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. These two people were imperialists. They expanded their territories to Deccan, and if you remember Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he has two capitals. One is Delhi. He shifted his capital to another place that was called Daulatabad. Actually, that Daulatabad was Devagiri. He renamed Devagiri as Daulatabad. Devagiri was the capital of Yadavas. So, most of the students know this, but in the given context, even this statement also becomes difficult for most of the students. People know Alauddin Khilji. Student knows Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Muhammad bin Tughlaq shifted his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Also, people should know. They know, and many students know that Devagiri was renamed as Daulatabad. If immediately if it strikes after seeing this question, fifth go wrong. Then if we make fifth as wrong, then 50% chances increased for this question. Even if we do not know other parts, leave it. At least if immediately brain gives this particular clue, then 50% chances increased. Now come to this part. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. That means 3 and 4 are correct. In both statements 3 and 4 is there. That means 3 is right, 4 is right. Now only problem comes 1 and 2. Whether 1 is right or 2 is right. Now this is the place where this map is showing. This map after 7th century, here you can see the Parmaras. After Harshavardhana, the northern Indian politics and other parts gradually declined and different political powers emerged. Chauhans, Paramaras and Rashtrakutas, different dynasties ruled different parts of the country. So those who just identify this map could have answered it very easily. But once again, most of the students leave this part and becoming this such kind of questions are becoming difficult. So in some questions, UPSC bowl the students. So student cannot do anything in such questions. But in such kind of questions, in the questions like this, it is a self goal. Just by omitting some of the chapters in our basic books, we are making such questions as very difficult questions. Now this is another map from the same book. Here it gives about Yadavas in the context of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Next question, 15. According to Portuguese writer Nunes, this becomes very difficult even for optional students also. Identifying in which areas women in Vijayanagara were experts, very difficult question, and in basic books it is not available. 16th question, with reference to Madanapalli of Andhra Pradesh, which one of the following statement is correct? This is one of the very difficult questions, no doubt about it. But once again, if we know the source, and we may feel sometimes ashamed, because sometimes we will leave some parts of NCERT just for lightly. Let us see here from which part of NCERT we can answer this question. But I categorized this as a difficult one because most of the students will not observe this part. Here there is a book, 6th standard. In 6th standard NCERT, second page itself, this image is there. In most of the books containing this, either national anthem or Vande Mataram or national pledge, such kind of things are displayed in the second page or third page itself. In the below part, it is saying note. This part is the translation of national anthem into English. The note itself saying Janagana Mana was translated by Gurudev from Bengali to English in February 1919 at Madanapalli in district of Chittoor. So after even I felt, even I did not, I read this for the first time because we won't observe these things in these particular pages. Those who casually see this also can answer this question. For them it becomes dead easy question. But most of us do not observe this, and this is making one of the most difficult areas of the questions. Even for taking guess also it becomes very difficult because Madanapalli, it is about Andhra Pradesh. Most of the students take C and D as wrong because Pingali Venkaya, he belonged to Andhra, Pattabi Sitaramaya, he belonged to Andhra. So most of the time our brain goes that maybe in these two answer would be there because these two people belong to Andhra Pradesh, but these two are not relevant to this particular. So Rabindranath Tagore translated national anthem from Bengali to English here. At least in this, Madame Blavatsky and Colonel Alcott set up headquarters of Theosophical Society first here. This statement some people might have omitted because this can be eliminated. It is saying first here. Madame Blavatsky and Colonel Alcott, they set up headquarters of Theosophical Society first time in New York. So not in India, New York. It is saying first here. So at least some students might have made this as wrong choice, but even it becomes difficult even to take guess also. But if we even look at casually this particular page, this is one of the easiest questions. So I categorize this as difficult only, but still from basic NCERTs you can see how many questions we can answer in history. Now come to 17th. Consider the following pairs. Historical place well known for Burjahn, Chandraketugarh and Ganeshwar. Once again, those who are focusing on ancient India, they only can answer this. The map itself is saying Burjahn, it is Neolithic culture. So it is about Stone Age. During Stone Age, rock cut shrines are not there. It is giving information about pit dwellings. So people dug the ground and they have created some houses to live. So this information comes from this particular book. And from the new NCERT, we can get the information for other parts. Ganeshwar copper artifacts. Here it is saying this is the 6th NCERT, 12th NCERT. The first part, themes in Indian history, part 1. In Harappan civilization, we get in that context we will get. Here there is evidence in the K3 area for what archaeologists call the Ganeshwar Jodhpura culture. Another strategy for procuring raw materials may have been sent expeditions to areas such as the K3 regions of Rajasthan. So this shows that the people from Ganeshwar exported raw material to the Indus people. So Indus people extracted raw material from Ganeshwar. This is known for copper. So copper artifacts were identified here. Once again, those who read interestingly about ancient India, those only can answer this question. History optional students will feel very easy because it is very essential part of history optional. So they would have answered very rightly. So they make one as wrong. One goes wrong means 50% chances increased. Now 3 is always right. So now 2. So those who read optional Chandraketugarh, terracotta, it's an important town for terracotta arts. So one of the trading centers. So most of the optional students would have made this right. Once again, for general studies student also, if we read the basic books, new NCERT and old NCERT, these questions goes right. Now 18. It was during the reign of Iltutmish that Chengiz Khan reached the Indus in pursuit of fugitive Khwarizmi prince. It was during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq that Timur occupied Multan and crossed Indus. Once again, those who read this medieval India, this is one of the easiest questions to answer because direct statements are there in this book. Because Iltutmish and Chengiz Khan, yes, related, and it was not during the Muhammad bin Tughlaq. After the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, the decline of after Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Tughlaq came. After Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the Delhi Sultanate decline started. Evidence for decline of Delhi Sultanate was the invasion of Timur. So in that context, 2 goes wrong. If 2 goes wrong, this is the direct statement from this book. And even if we do not know about the third statement, here only option is 1 only or 3 only choices. So it should be either 1 or 3. Those who know this is the right one, they can make the answer right. So even we do not know that whether Vasco da Gama came during Devaraya II or not. Even in this book itself, you can find the Devaraya II time period also. He is in 1450s. He came in 1490s. So nearly 1498 he reached. Much before Vasco da Gama, Devaraya too was there. So that's why even this answer also can be answered from this book. But just by knowing, by eliminating 2, 50% chances increase. Now only option is 1 only or 3 only. 1 directly can be answered from the one of the paragraphs of this book while reading about Iltutmish. So this is once again basic book, we can answer. 19th question. Consider the following statements. Saint Francis Xavier, this is one of the most difficult parts in the paper, because many people do not know Saint Francis Xavier, and whether he died in Goa or any other place we do not know. So it becomes very difficult. Basic books do not give that. 20th question. With reference to the history of ancient India, once again Mitakshara and Dayabhaga, this question also one of the difficult questions. Basic books are not mentioning this particular thing. So only even I have researched in what context they would have given this particular question. So probably 1 year ago in 2020 August, there was a law. In this, Supreme Court itself decided that the latest decision of Supreme Court on the right of Hindu daughters to ancestral property. In this editorial, there is mentioning about Mitakshara School of Law. So probably after inspiring from current affairs, because there is one more question also related to current affairs, UNICEF or UNESCO. So probably after inspiring from current affairs, they would have taken that and they would have used Mitakshara and Dayabhaga in framing this question. And out of curiosity, I have researched whether it is there in any other kind of NCERT books. It is mentioned in one of the NCERT books related to business studies. It is a book of 11th standard. There it is mentioned Dayabhaga system prevails in West Bengal and allows both the male and female members of the family to be co-parceners. Mitakshara system on the other hand prevails all over India except West Bengal and allows only the male members to be co-parceners in the business. So only in this context Dayabhaga and Mitakshara is mentioned in one of the basic NCERT books. Otherwise this question is very difficult to answer. So these are the 20 questions. Here I have mentioned from basic books which questions can be answered and which questions cannot be answered from the basic books. And let us see, these are the basic books: Ancient India R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra and Modern India. These are the new NCERTs. This is art and culture related book. Here once again, what about remaining questions? Let us take the first one. These are the 20 questions. Now other 10 questions, here 10 questions we cannot answer from these basic books, but 10 questions can be answered. And in these remaining difficult questions also, even history optional students also cannot answer, because once again to take even guess also becomes difficult, because in the regular history optional books also some of these questions are not given. So both history optional students with respect to history and GS students, most of the questions both are similar, both were having similar content. Only difference comes those who read basic books very carefully, those who read these books very casually. If you observe this, even spectrum book is not given. Even in spectrum book I have not mentioned. Spectrum will give, after reading the basic books, spectrum book will give you further understanding and it will help us to remember broadly and it will help us to remember for a long time, no doubt. So spectrum will definitely help with respect to modern India. And if you observe here, the questions from modern India are, some of the questions are easiest, like Quit India resolution. So some of the questions. Main problem comes even in reading basic books about ancient India and medieval India. These two parts most of the students leave. Here those who read ancient India and medieval India, here the edge for history optional student will come. because optional students do not have any other option but to read these ancient and medieval books very carefully. For general students, general studies students will not read with such care. That's why these optional students would have answered the other 10 questions very easily. They felt very easy. General studies students feel difficult with respect to ancient India and medieval India. So here this is showing that the basic books, forget about large books and big books. Even if you read basic NCERT, old NCERT and new NCERT, 50% of the game is over. So having 50% with confidence means it is very great asset in prelims examination. Remaining 10 questions, very difficult, even for taking also very difficult, but at least in these 50% of the questions, these 10 questions accuracy should be very high, provided if you read these basic books very carefully, you can make the accuracy of these questions very high. So if you have 10 questions in your hand, 10 questions even difficult, if you leave some of the questions also, it will not be a problem. So the deciding factor is not the difficult 10 questions, but deciding factor is the easy 10 questions. So those who read ancient and medieval can easily answer 10 questions. So this is how you have to understand each and every statement. Observe in basic books, and if you read basic books, your understanding will automatically increase. Even for taking guess work also, it will help you. So thank you very much. So the effort of making this video is to show you that whether some basic books are helpful or not in answering the history questions. So here the book list is Ancient Sri R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra, Bipin Chandra, new NCERTs you can freely download from this website also, and Art and Culture, an introduction to Indian art, part 1. So these are the books. So read carefully for next time prelims. Once you read carefully about the contents about in these books, then most of the problem will be solved in history questions. So thank you very much.